Welcome to episode 7 of Jed Talks. I'm your host, Jed Davis, the state rep of the 75th District. Look for your calculator, 75th District in Illinois. I always forget to say in Illinois, but I naturally think it's assumed. But if you just stumbled upon this, you may not know. So yeah, we're sitting in Illinois, Yorkville, Illinois at the moment. But hey, look for your calculator. Man, remember, I don't know if it's in a junk drawer or in a book bag, but remember when calculators were a thing? Now they're an app on your phone, so you might not have to look any further than your back pocket. Open up your iPhone and open up the calculator app, and off we go, because we are talking about the Illinois state budget today. What a lovely conversation, right? I say that tongue-in-cheek. But this last session, every session, but in May, so not too long ago, we passed the fiscal year 2026 budget. 5,377 pages. You want to know how long we had to read 5,400 pages? 18 hours. 18 hours to read 5,400 pages. Obviously an impossibility. It cannot happen. And this is done by design. Very intentional. I think it's a complete failure. But what I perceive as a failure, they perceive as a success. You know why? Because you can't hold anyone accountable. You can't have time to dig through and review 5,400 pages of record-setting spending. There's no time to actually vet it and come up with questions to debate it. So we pass it. I voted no, but you pass it, and they go home and skip into the sunset of how we're caring for the average citizen here in the great state of Illinois. Hogwash. The whole system is manipulated. I love to say it is manipulative. And I've been saying this forever. If you truly knew what happens in Springfield, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, whether it's the Democrat or the Republican, or you're just an independent individual, wherever you fall, you would be appalled. Because I can guarantee that you would want your rep and senator to have the ample time to be able to understand what they're voting on, especially when it is a record-setting spending bill, right? Our budgets used to be 38 billion. Well, man, in like 7 short years, they're now, this last one, 55.2 billion. So we've gone up nearly $20 billion here in Illinois. And you wonder, why is your cost of living gone up? Hello, right? This isn't complicated. This isn't chess. It's checkers. Very simple. But you would want your rep or senator to actually know the content before they're casting the vote. But yet the leadership in Springfield of the majority party designs it in such a way that they drop the massive bill in a short amount of time so nobody can be held accountable. And then they vote on it, often in the middle of the night, and they adjourn and everyone goes home for the year. What a complete joke. Shameful. It is absolutely shameful, and it is beneath the electorate. That is what happens year after year after year. Man, and you just see this is just growing and growing unchecked. I think of a beach ball, and if I had a pump here, right, you're just pump it up over and over, and it just grows to the point that we are nearing where it's going to go kaboom. Because it's unsustainable. Why is your cost of living going up? Think of the scene from the movie Taken. I love that movie. What dad doesn't love the movie of going to the ends of the earth to save their child? And he finally catches up with the original people who abducted his daughter, and they're at this kitchen table. And he's essentially having like a blackmail conversation, but he's saying, hey, my costs go up, your costs go up. And it is that simple here in Illinois. We have grown the government in such a manner, again, nearly $20 billion. Where does this money, where do you think it comes from? It comes from you. It comes from businesses. This isn't something that we created. You created the wealth through hard work, equity, rolling up your elbow sleeves and starting businesses or working for businesses. You created the money, but yet we're running around bragging about record revenues because we've done such a great job at uncovering every little avenue and rock to find ways to take money from you through taxation. And now we've got record revenues, and our governor is bragging about it. Record revenues. Isn't that incredible? No! Record revenues means we have worked so hard at taking your money so you have less money at the end of the month. And we have more money than we know what to do with, so we can just continue to pump it up and grow government. But yet, why is your cost of living going through the roof? Look no further than the spending here in Illinois. As we have pushed increased costs onto businesses, their costs go up, your costs go up, because it gets passed on to the consumer. Your cost of living is going through the roof because Illinois is spending unchecked and uncontrolled by dropping 5,400 pages and giving people 18 hours to read it. Fact. That is what is happening here in Illinois. Did you know we're now number one in the nation on property taxes? Number one on the overall tax burden as well. I want to file a bill that says if you're an elected official and you're in the Capitol, you've got to wear 2 lapel pins at all times. Big blue ribbon. The blue ribbon's going to say number 1 property taxes. And the other one on the other lapel for symmetrical purposes, let's put one on both lapels. Number 1 tax burden in the entire nation on families. Man, we have worked hard to earn these rights, these prestigious awards. So let's wear them with pride. Number 1 property taxes in the nation, number 1 overall tax burden on families. These are not blue ribbons. These are scarlet letters. And we should be ashamed as elected officials. Is this the definition of success? How can these people go back and look their constituents in the eye and say, I'm fighting for you? But I've yet cultivated an environment that has resulted in the highest property taxes in the nation and the highest tax burden, and we've got record revenues because we do a great job at fleecing your wallet. Look at these blue ribbons I'm wearing. How can we have those conversations honestly without wanting to go to the bathroom and throw up? It makes me sick to my stomach what we're doing to families. How about we find ways to lower people's cost of living? You know what I did last session? I got kind of tired of all the complaints and saying, Jed, it's impossible. Come sit on these committees and we'll show you what we're talking about. And I quickly came to the realization, again, these committees are a sham, and we have great knowledge and resources on the Republican side of the aisle. There's no reason we can't file a counter budget. So I did my own. And is it airtight? Absolutely not. But I locked myself in my office while the rest of the Springfield community is out at receptions and going to dinners. I am in the Stratton to 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, going line by line through last year's budget because I can't find anyone else willing to do the work. And I just created a 20-page document as a conversation starter. Let's open the conversation. Maybe if I give the opening salvo, maybe then others will jump on, and a year or two from now, we'll be filing a counter budget, and we can drive real change here in Illinois. I'll upload this onto my website, jedforfreedom.com. So if you want to take a look, feel free to go in and download. Again, is it airtight? No. I'm sure there's some errors. I'm a one-man rodeo late at night in my office, okay? But it is an opening conversation. There's probably some good ideas in here. But let's come together. I dream of a day where Republicans actually work with Democrats on how do we spend the money for the people here in Illinois. You look at the voters for presidency, what was it, like 50, 55, 45? Man, It'd be nice if those voters were equally represented, because right now they're not. And the only way is to drive change. And we need to disrupt the system because the system is broken. It is not representative of you. Regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, or regardless of how you think your party is, I'm telling you, both parties are failing you. And we can do better. You deserve better. Man, thank you for listening. I feel like I need to apologize. It's shameful how we conduct business in Springfield. And those blue ribbons, again, they're scarlet letters. How can we be bragging about the awesomeness of Illinois when we're the number one in highest property tax and number one in cumulative tax burden in the entire nation? How can we be proud about a 5,400-page budget crammed through in the middle of the night with no transparency? How do these people lay their head on their pillow and feel good about the votes and the tactics that they are taking in the halls of the Capitol? I can't. I don't know if you can tell. It drives me insane. It just really makes me sad. It makes me sad for the people of Illinois. But hey, know that I am here. I am here to drive change, to not be quiet, and to point out the nonsense. Kind of speechless at the moment, but we will continue the fight. Thank you for the trust that the constituents of the 75th have put into my hands. And as I said last week, I hold that trust with an open hand. It needs to be earned every day, not one time come every 2 years at election. It needs to be earned every day. And I hold that trust as a gift that I can go down to Springfield and be your voice in issues that are complex and hard and often not popular with the people of Springfield, because this is how it's always been done. And it's easy to just complain and then we go out to dinner and everyone goes home and everyone's happy. No, we need to, again, disrupt the system because you, the voters, deserve to have real transparency and deserve to not to hear us brag about record revenues, but to take those revenues and to take those dollars and to give them back to the people. I propose giving $1,500 back to every working family in Illinois. How about that for a start? Wouldn't that be a refreshing conversation? God bless. We'll talk to you soon.